Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another evening of Let's Talk About It Tuesday. My name is Dr. Rashawn Broadnex, and I am so excited to be here on this evening. We have an amazing topic for you, and I can't wait to get started. But before we do, let's bring in our panelists. Let's start with Dr. Pam Hill.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Pamela Hill, located in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I am your board certified trichologist as well as holistic drug list practitioner. Thank you for coming.
All right. And next, let's have Miss Marguerite Moten.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to our Let's Talk About It. I'm Marguerite Moten from your Fredericksburg, Virginia area. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Marguerite. And next, let's have none other than Miss Dr. Suzette Robinson.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson. I'm your educator, certifier, and I'm the owner of Wigs by Suzette Hair Replacement Center here in Birmingham, Alabama. And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
And without further ado, I will bring in the lady who is going to facilitate our amazing topic this evening, or for this week. It is none other than Miss Shanae Starnes.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Broadnex. I want to say I'm Shanae Starnes. I'm a licensed cosmetology educator as well as a board certified trichologist, and I'm the owner of Hair Wellness Advocacy Center. And this evening, we're going to open up this evening with some conversation around you developing a personal or personalized wellness program. And you may say, well, why? Why are we going to talk about this? First of all, we need to make some plans headed into 2022 for one. And I got to thinking, being a trichologist, once one understands it, they begin to understand that it's more than the hair loss that they're experiencing. It's more than the scalp abnormalities that are happening. There's a root cause, there is a root issue, and if we take ownership, and that's what our topic is going to be about today, if we take ownership, we should be developing a wellness program. I'm going to, so I won't, bring all of it in at one time. Can I just get someone to help me out with what their thoughts are what do you think about when you think about like a personal wellness program?
Well, even before we start that, you said, why should we talk about this topic? Tell us a little bit more about what a personal wellness program is, because there may be people out there who are saying, okay, she's going to tell us why, but I don't even know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, so just think about it. There are what we call employee wellness programs, right? So if anyone has held a position at a company and they got their benefits, there are programs in place such as smoking cessation programs, and those are programs that will help you stop smoking. Then there's weight loss programs. That's to help you stay fit. And then and these are just the top three that I could think of. I'm sure there are many others that corporations provide or businesses provide. And then another one that I was thinking about were the benefits of being able to see a counselor to manage stress program. And so I was thinking, I said, now if a corporation would offer that as a benefit to their employees, now this fits very well in what we do, because it all goes back to you being an employee, which is you are yourself. Companies want to keep you healthy so that you can continue to work for them. But how about splitting the focus and personalizing it and developing it for yourself, especially those that do not work for corporations or companies and they are self-employed or they're looking to transition. So I'm glad that you asked for the clarity on it, but that's the avenue that I want to go down this evening.
Okay, and I think that's so important because you did mention that if you do not work for a corporation, and many, if you've listened to our show, you know that we are hairstylists. So many of us do not work in corporate salons. We are our own salon owners or may work in the salon with somebody else. So this would be a very important thing to talk about. Go ahead, Pam. Sorry to cut you off.
No, with her doing the corporate, because we can do the same thing in the salons. I just think it has a lot to do with, because with the wellness plan, it can be team building, it could be financial, it could be so many different things to where if you didn't work in corporate, because I know when I was in corporate, we did a lot of that far as team building, financial wellness, professional is one of the big ones, where it could be corporate or non-corporate, because a lot of times when we become owners or even self-employed, a lot of times we forget about the professionalism. And that's a wellness, plan as well, because we definitely do need that, especially not only professional, but team building. A lot of times we don't know how to work with others. A lot of times we like to be by ourselves. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, because you forget, out of sight, out of mind. So you forget how to be a team player when you work by yourself for so long. It's hard for you to adapt into another person's environment and be a part of that team. So a lot of these wellness plans is actually really good because we do need it in our everyday life. Without it, that's when the stress comes in. And then there's another, you know what I'm saying? So it's like one hand over the other. Like you can deal with the stress, you can deal with the professionalism, you can deal with the finance, you can deal with the environment. It's so many different things, the mental of it all, So I actually really think this is a really good topic, because a lot of times I think we forget of the well-being of ourselves because we always so used to taking care of everybody else.
You hit it. You said well-being deserves wellness.
Right.
Before I go on, is there anyone that wants to add to it? All right. So with that being said, so it's important for us to really take responsibility for our health and our overall wellness, because as professionals, sometimes I toyed around with the idea. I run into the fact that people don't know what a trichologist is. Should I use a more familiar word such as hair loss? And I said, no. This is a movement. This is something that's been around for a long time. And no, why am I shrinking back because others are familiar with a certain term instead of uplifting the whole idea of being well? Because if there is a hair loss, if there's a scalp abnormality happening, there is a wellness issue. It's directly correlating to your wellness. And so that's what differentiates us from maybe a cosmetologist. And then the other thing that is very important to mention is that I want more and more hairstylists, more hair professionals, more hair advocates, more wellness advocates to advocate for the services that they offer as a professional. And if I could have someone add on for just a moment to that comment that I made.
That was a great comment. I think something was said, Shanae, that opening people's mind up to understand what a trichologist is. To some people, it is brand new because we don't hear a lot of it. People don't talk about it a lot. Even I, as long as I've been a cosmetologist, I didn't know what a trichologist was. I had never heard of a trichologist. Dermatologist, yes. Trichologist, what the heck is that? So once I got educated and now I know, that's a great time to educate your clients. That's a part of wellness too. Just like today, I had a phone call for a client that's looking for someone to take care of their scalp needs, okay? They don't know quite what's going on with their scalp, and I can't diagnose what's going on over the phone, but just listening to them, she said to me, I was going to go to the dermatologist. And someone mentioned to me, there is a trichologist that I go to, you need to speak with her. And the first thing she said, what the heck is a trichologist? So when she called, she asked me, and I began to tell her exactly what we do. I like something else you said, Shanae. We can't downplay it. Yeah, we try to get it to explain where they can understand exactly what we're talking about. But I think like this, when you're in the profession that we're in, just like your physician, when they're telling you the names of the different types of whatever's going on with you, they use the scientific name. They use terminology, you know, and that's to help us, bring us up to understand exactly what we're dealing with. That's one reason why speaking about trichology, telling them who you are so that they can understand that they know they have people that are certified that can help their needs that they have when they're dealing with scalp disorders. I also like the fact that you were really pleading with the cosmetologist. This is the part where you can learn more about this so you can be able to be a greater help to those that are coming to you. That's part of wellness. The whole, I'm talking the whole scope of things, okay? Because if your scalp is not healthy, you're not gonna have healthy hair. And if it's coming out, you have a problem that need to be rectified. So that's what I got out of that.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good because that's what I want to convey. I also want to bring attention to the work that we do, the body of work that we do as trichologists, as professionals. It goes back when I'm working with a particular client. At the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for. You know, what are your stressors? What are the foods that you're eating? What are you not getting due to vitamins and minerals? Like that component is such an in-depth conversation because again, there's a root cause. And so tonight, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my conversation with my clients is teaching them to create an ultimatum. I remember in 1992, my mother gave me an ultimatum. She said, either one, you need to get to work, you need to either go back to school, or you got to move on. This was when I was not knowing what I wanted to do, right? And so I was sharing that with Marguerite. It was that ultimatum. It was that pressure to make a choice, make a decision. And so ultimatums should be included in your wellness plan in terms of you being committed and compliant to the changes that you're being told that you're needing. And one of the things that I've learned is that there's 3 areas. There's your medical side of things, where you have your allopathic, drugs that the doctors provide. Then you have more of a holistic approach, which many people are really leaning and gleaning on nowadays. And then you have the cosmetic side. Now, sometimes for us in this industry, the cosmetic side would be a medical wig. It could be a cranial prosthetic or it could be that you're going to get hair replacement, all together. So people have choices, but more people are leaning into the holistic perspective of creating health for themselves. So in that conversation, I want them to understand that it's important for them to develop the wellness program. It's important for them to take a look at evaluating their own lives, developing things that they need to create life balance so that by the time you come to a professional, it's easier to work with someone that is willing and they already have something in place. All right. Can somebody help me out, please?
Well, I wanted to actually touch on that because what you said, because being that we're trichologists, so when they come into us, we are actually setting up a wellness plan for them. One of them is emotionally, because a lot of times, for women, our hair is our glory, so we're already in a state of emotions coming in to see someone with the issue that they have, more so if, it's no difference. You go into the doctor and you hear, bad news. So they're already emotional a wreck when they come in. So
Absolutely.
we are more of that support. So we setting up a wellness plan. And I'm so glad that you said that, because a lot of times we don't realize what we're doing until after we do it or somebody actually mentioned. And like, oh, well, you know what, I'm already doing it. Never thought about setting up a wellness plan, because that's what we normally are doing. You know, we setting up something for them to come to do on a regular, as far as the nutrition, as far as what they eat, what they lack of, as far as nutrition, what they need more of, as far as nutrition. So we're actually setting up that plan for them as a trichologist, and really not putting a title on it, because it's just such in habit of us doing it, you know, because we love what we do. So we got a plan of action already. As you said, you have to have a plan of action to actually set up the wellness plan. So we do it on a regular, but then we need to take heed of what we do as far as our clients and do it ourselves as well. You know, because again, we do a lot of it for everybody else, but not for ourselves.
Amen.
Amen. So
All right.
I wanted to kind of, you took all the words from right out of my mouth.
You didn't lean in, did you?
Really, because our clients don't realize, they really don't realize until we bring it to their attention.
That's right.
They don't realize certain things
That's
that they're
right.
doing, you know, and certain things that they need to do to have a healthy scalp, you know, to have a, you know, even adding into exercising. They don't realize the importance of that. So this wellness thing can go further beyond what we can even imagine. But because people, it's the lack of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
People don't know, but when you bring it to their attention, that makes them really, really think about what they're actually doing and what they're putting into their bodies, and what's important to have a healthy lifestyle is going to bring healthiness to the hair.
That's
right
it.
to the scalp. So
That's
you know
it.
they don't realize all of that until you bring it to the attention, and that's so funny.
That's good. That is so good. But you know something? We are trained to do, if we're doing it, we're trained when they come in and they initially get that consultation. Consultation is for us to gather data on them. We take that data and we look over it, we analyze it along with the scalp pictures that we've taken from the clients and everything. And then we create a treatment plan, which helps lead them to, well, now this is something I'm learning though. When I introduce them to the fact that I have to put them a treatment plan together, they sign it at the bottom. They're agreeing to it, saying, I'm gonna come in XYZ days, I'm gonna get these treatments, I'm gonna do this part at home, blah, blah, blah. But this was shined the light on for me when they would say something to me like, I didn't know we needed all of that. I didn't know that it was so important that I eat right and think right and walk and drink. All those things are components to poor health. When you can fix that, you're on the road up to good health. And that, to me, amazes me every time when they look and they look in your face and they look with amazement. Because like Shanae said earlier, we do have to educate. Our job is to educate, like we're doing right now on this platform, to why it's so important. Because the first thing they said, why it's so important for you to know what I eat or what I, what goes, because then I have to tell them, you know, if they don't know, they don't know. You can't do anything that you don't have knowledge of. Nothing. Nothing.
And the one other thing I wanted to add, like, you know, I find out lately, a lot lately, especially with people that's dealing with the hair loss, their biggest thing is they got to take those biotins. They just gravitate on these vitamins and things and not go to the doctor to see what they lacked in. That's the part that bothers me, because they can overload. They can really overload, but they don't know. That's the lack of knowledge again, lack of knowledge. And I'll be trying to tell you, did you go to the doctor? Did the doctor say that you was lacking this? you know, so they don't know. They
Yeah.
really don't know.
They
And it's
don't.
funny that you said that, especially like with vitamin D. You know,
Right.
I just be like, okay, wait a minute, hold on.
Overload.
And they overload, like, and that's I always just, my first question is always, when's the last time you had a full complete workup as far as your
Yeah.
physical,
Yeah.
meaning that
Yeah.
your blood work, everything, to
Mhm.
see exactly what is
Yes.
needed for you.
Yeah.
You know, because they take a vitamin D and then they take a multivitamin that has vitamin D in it, and then they take this, or you know,
Yeah.
the same thing with, you know, vitamin C. A lot of things you have to, and they don't understand, you can take too much to where you
Mhm.
can become constipated, you can have hair
Mhm.
loss,
Yes.
it's so many different things that can
Yes.
happen with you taking too much
Yeah.
of something. You know, as
Mhm.
far as even with, like I tell my clients, as far as shampoos, you know, you use this shampoo from this company, then you use this conditioner from this company, then you use this leave-in for this company. And it's just like you overload and not knowing what the ingredients is, and you're using too much of one thing and you kind of reacting with your body. So it's just like you have to understand in what you use, you need to read and understand everything that you put on your body or in your body.
Yeah. And if not,
You
come
know
to
what?
us and
I'm
we'll,
so-
we'll interpret it. But go ahead, Dr.
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
One thing that I was going to add that I thought was so good that Pam brought up is, even as we do all of those things, we need to remember to make sure that we go see our doctors, right? At least,
Yes.
you know, we're supposed to go at least every 6 months, but do your full medical workup at least
Workup.
every year, because you don't
Yeah.
realize how that little thing that you do can save you so much trouble. You know that many people are dealing with like various major health issues, right?
Mhm.
And so often we hear that, oh, you know, I'm in this stage of the health issue because I didn't know. But when you go to the doctor, they'll be able to tell you, they're more likely to be able to catch things as you go. So if you do that 6-month checkup, even if you do like just a minimal checkup 6 months, but a full workup at the end of the year or what have you, you'll be able to catch a lot of things. You'll be abreast of a lot of things that go on with your body, which is so important to know as you start to develop your personal wellness plan.
Mhm.
It's so true.
This is so true. Let's see. If somebody else can add to that for just a moment, okay?
Yeah, and also, you know, with that, Dr. B, and it's crazy because a lot of times you'll go to the doctor and the doctor tell you, like, for instance, you're pre-diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know you already at that borderline.
Right.
But then yet still you are trying to push it to the limit or not try to correct or have a plan of action to, you know, to help with that, you know, with your cholesterol. All those things play a part of hair. Your skin, I mean, it plays a part of everything to where, you know, you have to be, your mental have to be right. You know, like you said, if you go to the doctor and the doctor is telling you, hey, okay, you pre-diabetic. That means you on that, you teeter-tottering.
Right.
You got one leg over here and the other leg, so you straddle the fence. So I'm gonna need you to pick a side.
Right.
And but then what you
Nip it in the
knowing
bud.
the things that can happen, you know, you need to be able to make a plan of action to fix that, so you won't have to be able to have to take shots or wear a thing on your thing to regulate your sugar and, you know, so many different things. Because again, that all plays a part to your body functions, you know, that we deal with on the I want my body functions to work 100%. If I can take my head off and give my body to somebody to make it physical fit, I would do it. But, you know, we have to get better as far as making a plan of action of things that we know, especially when you go and get the, you know, the issues, you know, ahead of time. It's one thing not knowing, but if you go to the doctor on a regular, which we all should, even more now because of what we're dealing with in this whole pandemic, we need to go consistently every 6 months to get exams. Even for men, a lot of men don't like to go to doctors, but for women, men, kids, whatever, we need to make sure that we make it our priority to go and get checked for everything, because the things that we're consuming in our body now cause a lot of issues.
And you know what? I know we have run out of time and we have to wrap up. So Shanae, you're definitely going to have to come back next week and continue on with this. But I just want to hit this topic since Pam brought it up with men and their medical visits, right? I said, you better say it, Pam, because that is, men are notorious. And you know what? I'm going to take it even further. I'll say African American men
Yes.
are
Yeah.
notorious for not visiting
Yes.
their doctors. You will hear often people say, oh, when was the last time you went to the doctor? Oh, it was about 3 years ago. Within that 3-year time, so much of your body has changed, right? And then you brought it
Yeah.
back to the time that we're living in now. We are dealing with things we have never dealt with before.
That's
We are
true.
dealing with a level of stress in our bodies and in our minds that we have never dealt with before. Stress alone, forget about all the other factors, but stress
The
alone
main-
causes us to do
That's
things.
it.
Whether we eat, whether we smoke, whether we drink, all things that, you know, it promotes us to, I don't want to say promotes, but we tend to do things to assuage that stress, but
Yeah.
we're also causing additional harm. So we're starting a cyclical circle of harm, you know, in
Right.
my opinion. And so that's why it's important, even more to your point, yes, to have our physical, but we also have to be right in the mind, because when the doctor tells us that, hey, you're in a pre-diabetic stage, your mental has to be in place so that you can say, I need to do something positive. Not that I'm so overwhelmed with stress that I cannot break away from eating the sweets and things that make me, you know, feel good. One hand washes the other. One thing helps out the other. You have to remember, even though we are talking about our bodies, and yes, that is the physical part, our
Mhm.
minds are a part of that, and so are our
Very much
emotions.
so.
So
Very
And
much.
I just wanted to impart that and say to our African American male listeners and all of our male listeners, please make sure that you get on board and you
Yes.
start to visit your doctors, because even our men deal with hair loss issues.
Yes.
And we tend to brush it off. The first thing when we start to notice our hairline creep back,
they
or
cutting
we
the
notice
ball.
that
They cutting the ball.
we cut it off. We cut it. You're right, Mark. We cut it off. And so then we sit there, but we don't realize we could have saved that hair.
Mhm.
When we started to see the migration, we could have done something, because it may have just been a malfunction of the body. There
Right.
are things we could have done to retard that, or either
Right.
kind of stop it at that point, you know? So
Yeah.
that's enough of that, but go ahead. So I'll
Yeah,
let
no,
you.
no, because really
I'm
they not
glad
they
you.
they not even looking at the root of it. They just doing that
Absolutely.
topical thing, cutting it off. But what
Absolutely.
caused it? They forgetting about what caused it. They just because they
Right.
bald, they gonna cut it all to be bald. You still got that issue. You still
Yeah.
have that
That's
issue.
right.
And
The
then one
internal-
other thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna shut it up. I wanted to say I want to piggyback off of what we was talking about earlier about when most of the time if I go to the doctor, for all you listeners, when the doctor say this is we looking at this, you have this issue or that issue, I instantly pulls up my phone. We got that Google works. Pull up
Yeah.
that phone and I find what foods I can eat to
Mhm.
offset the
Right.
issue that he say at hand. So
That's it.
just think about that, people.
Yes, that's such a good point. Go ahead, Shanae.
No. I was just going to say that food is the very first medicine. That is the first medicine. That is the first medicine. And we can continue this next week, because I do want to provide you with the elements of a wellness
Yes.
plan. I also want to introduce you to epigenetics. And that is something that I spoke about at an event that I spoke at. And I was talking about our hair follicles have DNA associated with it. But not to go into detail, we're going to come back to the importance of this wellness plan. We're going to come back to, as professionals, we can partner with you to be that person to help you iron all these things out. This is where the conversation is being had today, because you got 5 of us here, and we're interested in making sure that you have a plan of action in place going into 2022. Again, this Talk About It Tuesday is all about how to create a wellness program for yourself.
Yes.
So thank you for the opportunity. And Dr. Bratton, you're going to close this out?
Well, I'm gonna kick it back to Dr. Robinson so she can
Dr.
do our
Robinson,
wrap up
you
with
go.
our sponsors because we
There
know
you
she want to
go.
lay it out right.
Musical
Come on, Dr.
chairs,
Robinson.
musical chairs.
Right.
Well, you know, I want to say this. This again is the best panel that anybody could ever have, because these professionals that you see are very knowledgeable about the things that they talk about. And not only are they knowledgeable, they are certified to help you. I like what Shanae said. We're here to help you
Yep.
help yourself, okay? So once again, I'm thankful that you tuned in to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. This would not be possible if it were not for you, if it were not for Isabella Graphics and more, Pretty Gloss Princess, I have to think,
Kingdom.
Kingdom Dominion, I know, right? Kingdom Dominion Worship Ministries Incorporated, and none other than Pastor Donnie Robinson, who makes sure all our information is on the feed. So if you want to get in touch with either one of us, you can find our information because it's being posted as we speak. I do once again want to thank you all for, oh, Platinum. Thank you, Dr. B, because they may be watching tonight. Platinum Beauty Supply Store, who makes sure that all the wigs, I got new wigs that have come in. I've got to distribute them. Oh, I do want to say this. Getting ready to go to Jude Hospital to take them some coverings for their head. And for those kids that need wigs, all of them don't need wigs, but we do have the covering for their scalps and stuff like that. So we're going to be making a trip, dropping that off to them and going to see them. I don't just drop it off. I go in and I make myself in and speak to everybody. So I didn't want to seem like I just drop it off and I'm gone.
Right.
But no, this has,
Yeah.
I hope everybody that's watching has had an excellent Thanksgiving. Okay. I like it, you telling me. Thank you. I do want you all to do me a favor. Since you had a good Thanksgiving, I want you to get on here and I want you to like and I want you to share our information. Go back and look at some of our other videos that we've done, you know, in the past. You will find answers to pretty much any and everything that's going on with you. Please revisit it. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is P2P BHAM, okay? Please go on there and check it out. Hit the button, hit the subscribe button, and continue to check and see. I'm appreciative. I love the hearts that's going up. I see Tehran is on here. We will be talking soon. Yeah, he's on here. He's been tuning in for the last couple of times that we've been on. So we're grateful for that. And for those of you that's starting your business, I'm gonna say this and we're out of here. Once again, I'll probably keep singing this song. Don't let nobody steal your dreams. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. It may start out slow at first, but it's okay. Just keep going. Those of you that have these certifications and they just sitting on your beautiful wall and you're not doing anything with it, you're doing yourself an injustice. Please get those certificates down and go use them. If you don't know how, please contact P2P Certification and Training Institute. We will show you how to take that certificate that you've received, because I get calls all the time. Take the time. I don't have a quick fix for you, but I do have a guide that will help and lead you to where you need to go. Meaning you're gonna have to do the work, okay? Don't just get it and just be done with it. Because you know what? We're needed all over this world. Hospitals, nursing homes, children's centers. I can name a list of places you can just go and visit. Make yourself known to them. You'll be surprised they will utilize your service. Don't sit and just wait on hoping that somebody's gonna come by. They're not. You got to get out there. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. I want to see you some more and some more. Some more, not some more, some more. So tune in next Tuesday as we continue this great topic. I think Shanae has done an awesome job. I'm excited to hear more. So we'll know how many of y'all make them resolutions? 2022, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do. Well, we'll see. We're teaching you now, you got to have a wellness plan. Because having a dream and your body ain't well, don't mean nothing. So tune in, tell a friend, bring somebody. And we'll be back if the Lord says the same at 6 o'clock Central Time on live. Okay. Thank you once again. Live.
Bye.
Yeah.